What's up everybody, Chill Scrub here, come back at you with another video. This time I'm doing a video on frame data. This is part 1 of a guide on frame data. A lot of players, they struggle with frame data. They struggle on how to understand it, how to implement it, or they just use it in the wrong sense overall. And it's very scary to a lot of new players to use because they think it's this big concept when really it's just basic math. It's really just basic math and a few simple concepts that you have to understand that I'm gonna go over right now. Now, when you're in the lab, I'm gonna go over the spreadsheet of what it shows so far. For both characters on both sides, it shows startup frames, frame advantage, status, and distance from opponent. What we're really gonna focus on is the startup frame and the frame advantage. These are the two most basic concepts of frame data, and I'm gonna start from there. So I'm gonna start off with a simple jab, and I'm gonna show you how this works. So as you can see on my side, it says the startup frame is 10 frames, the frame advantage is +8, and on his side it says he's -8. The reason why it says that and it evens out like that, if I'm +8, by default he has to be -8, and the reason that is because the game runs at 60 frames per second and both characters have to be running at 60 frames per second, or otherwise the frame data will be off, if that makes any sense. Now, okay, so how do you use this in any kind of offense or defensive like this? Okay, so in a situation where I was set to Harong to do a jab, alright, so if I set Harong to do a jab and a down 4-1, he's going to be on frame advantage, right? If I get hit by the jab and I try to retaliate, I'm going to get counter hit. So that's how that works. This is how you set up basic frame traps. So boom, boom, right? So if I get hit by the jab and I press, I get counter hit. Try it again. See? Every time I'm going to do that, I'm going to get hit. The reason why this frame trap works is because the jab is +8, and the down 4-1 he does after that is 13 frame startup, right? So with that being said, I know this is geeky and it's math intensive, I guess. Just bear with me. So with that jab being +8, his 13 frame, normally it would be startup 13 frames. Normally, down 4-1 is no longer 13 frames. It's actually 5 because he already is +8, if that makes sense. Because in order for me to attack, I have to wait till my hit stun is all the way over. Hit stun is another property, or block stun, if you're blocking, you have to wait till that's all the way over before you can actually attack. Hence the name frame trap. So I can't even step that. Even if I get hit, I can't step it. Okay, so we see how that works. This is a basic frame trap. Now let's talk about blocking frame traps, right? Because I know this is a thing that a lot of people struggle with, especially like with characters like Harong. Let's start off with something that a lot of Harong players do. So that's good. Let's see. Something like that. That's how he starts into his left flamingo stance and his left flamingo mix-ups, right? So on hit, I can't do anything because he's +11. He's +11. I can't do anything at all. If I try to retaliate, I get hit. Now, but if I block the 1-2, I can counter hit because he's actually negative but he went into stance. The reason why that is because the stance takes so long to get into that +3 is actually very misleading. He's not actually +3 on block. Okay, so let me talk about the 3 basic steps of frame data. I actually did a video on this a long time ago, but I never went into deep detail with it. So when it comes to frame data, there are 3 stages of frame data. There are the startup frames, right, which is actually on the screen, as you can see, like how it says the jab is 10 frame startup. There are active frames. That means how long is active to actually hit you. And then you have the end of the animation, which is the recovery motion. So the recovery motion is that blue, every time that blue spark appears up on my character and when I hit Harong, that is your recovery. So every time I hit him with this jab, I'm going to recover before he does. common sense, right? So again, the thing about frame data is you want to make sound decisions when you're using it. And this should be a guide of what moves to use in certain situations. So let's say I'm playing Kazuya and let's say I do it. Let's set the computer to block afterwards. Stand guard, stand. Okay, and let's just leave it at that. Okay. Well, I could do it wrong. I could switch it so I can make it. I could put you in a situation where you can see how this is useful in regular situations, right? So, all right, well, shit. Let's do the 1, 2, 3 thing again with Harong. So 1, 2 into Left Flamingo 3. God, Anthony. Good God, Anthony. Jesus Christ. New controller. I'm so sorry for the mess ups. Good God. It's like I have to mash it because it's new. That's the most common thing you do with Harong, right? Again, this can be blowed up just because it's on hit. So now that you know that, if I happen to block it, I can switch situations and do something like if I know what my opponent is going to jab every time I do that, I can just do something like this. And that's a true block string. So what's happening right there in that situation, what that string is doing is gelling. That means you cannot press the button. If you do, you get hit. So it's situations like that. I mean, frame data is not the hardest thing to understand. It's just that to me, a lot of players, they don't explain it properly or they don't break it down in a sense where everybody can get it. Even with knockdowns, frame data applies to knockdowns too. Let's talk about the most common thing. Let's talk about the electric. I said it in my previous Kazuya guide about how you want to end combos with electrics because of the frame advantage you get on Oki. So there's a difference in each knockdown. So let's say a knockdown like this, plus 10 on the knockdown, versus let's say I end the combo with a hell sweep, right? So I'm gonna just do a electric and then a basic tailspin. Boom. Plus 12. Now, if I was to end it with an electric, it'll look different. I'm plus 18. I'm plus 25, which means I can do another electric afterwards. But that other corner where it has the parentheses plus 18, that's my Oki right there. So, in a nutshell, when you're working with the Oki and frame data wise, let's set them to do a get up attack. So let's say he does a get up mid kick, right? So I'm gonna electric. I'm doing the same combo I just did, and I'm doing another electric to ender, and you're gonna see what I mean by the frame advantage on Oki situations. So see how I traded? Now, if I would have did it more cleanly, it'll hit clean. God dang it, I'm too slow. See? It'll hit clean every single time. So what I want a lot of players to think of when they're using frame data and when they're labbing, again, this is the basics. When you're labbing, I want you to test out every move your character has, see the startup frame, see the advantage. And this is how, and make sure that you're using sound decision making when you're poking, because you don't want to just throw out launchers like that, because you'll end up getting punished for it severely. Let's talk about common flowchart setups. I got the wrong characters for this, so let's switch characters. Let's go to Law, because Law has most of the biggest flowcharts in the world. Let's pick Law, and I'll pick Law. And I'm going to go with Law again, so I can show you a lot of the shit that goes on, and you'll get a good gist of what I mean by a lot of the online flowcharts and how you can literally sit here and break these down easily and beat them, and you can level up your game a little bit. So now, we all know laws, 3 bars equals lag, right? So with that being said, is I'm going to put it on repeat, and I'm going to do the most common flowchart that law players do. Okay, why did I get hit there? Why did I get hit there? The reason why I got hit, I was right to do the jab. The jab is the correct thing to do. It's a punish. But since it's online, it's going to be a little bit more laggy. So therefore, my jab is going to get crushed by the duck, if that makes sense. So frame data is good, but when it's laggy, you want to go with the safer option. So now I'm going to do another option, which should actually beat out the duck and the while standing 2, right? Let's try it. Oh god, I gotta redo it. Okay. I'll just do it like this. So, okay, so something like that. That'll beat it every time. See, that will happen when you try to punish with a high. Well, that's not punishable, but when you're trying to use your frame advantage to attack a person that's going to duck like that. So that's a common example of what you're going to see a lot in ranked match, a lot of abuse of the minus frame. So what I just did right there, when I set the law up to do the down forward 2 into the while standing 2, what you call that typically in fighting games is stealing a turn. Because if he does the while standing 2 by itself, if he does the while standing 2 by itself, it's my turn. I'm +7, as you can see. But because he's safe, he actually gets to take my turn and duck. He can do a risky option and duck. If that makes any sense. Now, if you want to be a smarter player, you can bait this out and then just punish it accordingly. So, let's talk more about stealing turns. So, of course, you have people that do the duck into the launcher. And another common thing is this. Let's see something that's really good that a lot of I say intermediate level players like to do. They like to do jab sidestep. Oops. So let's try that. They like to do that. The frame data works in this case is because one, he's +1 on the jab, as you can see. But if I try to retaliate, it leaves me open and then you get whiff punished. Now, you can stop this by trying to check it, or you can do what I just did earlier and try to steal a turn. The problem with that is, though, he is still on frame advantage, so if he decides to follow up with something else, I will get hit. So let's say a jab down forward 1, the most common lockdown setup in offense. So, boom, boom. Right? As I showed you earlier with Harong, if I try to retaliate with anything, okay, here's how this works, okay? So I did a down 3 + 4 with Law to retaliate on the sidestep, right? So if I do this jab and then he does a jab and a down forward 1, I do that same move, I'm going to get hit. See? Now I can beat him out clean. In this situation, I can beat him out clean if I do a jab. If I retaliate with a jab, I can beat him out clean. Okay, so why did that work? Why did I beat him out clean? He had the frame advantage. I shouldn't have beat him out clean, right? The reason why I beat him out clean is because his jab is only +1, right? So that means his follow-up, which is a 13 frame down forward 1, is 12 frames, right? Because he's already +1. He recovers before I do. Makes sense? So now that we know that my jab is 10 frames, the jab is going to beat out 10 beats 11. 10 is faster than 11, so he's going to get beat out. It's just common sense, right? So a lot of this is just a lot of common sense and basic math when it comes to frame data. I'm just trying to get the basics so you can understand how this works, and learn how to set up some basic frame traps and not rely on launchers and things of that nature. So it's just like lows. Now, a lot of people do, like, they try to steal your turn like this. So let's say Law does a down back 3 into a down forward 1. That's a legit frame trap. That's legit. It's legit. It's a frame trap. If I press a button, I will get hit. But there's an option I can do out of that. Oops. Timed it wrong. See? Okay, so the question is, why am I able to sidestep it? I shouldn't be able to sidestep that, right? I mean, he's already down back 3, plus 4, down forward 1 is down forward 1 is 13 frames. Hence, his 13 frame down forward 1 becomes 9 frames, right? The reason why that worked is because it only takes 5 frames to implement a sidestep. So you do recover before I do, but I still have enough time to actually sidestep out of the way. So I want you to keep that in mind when you're sidestepping, backdashing, and ducking, that your opponent at least has 5 frames to move. That's why this works. Now, the counter to this option, since we're talking about making better decisions, is if he knows I'm going to sidestep away from the down forward 1 after the down back 3, I have 2 options. I can do that, because I can't step out of the way of that. I will be stepping the wrong way. And since I'm in crouch, I cannot sidestep into the foreground. I can only sidestep into the background, if that makes any sense. So I only have one way to step. So when you have a move that knocks you down in crouch, there's only one way you can step, depending on what side you're on. So if you're on 2-player side, you're going to be sidestepping into the foreground. If you're on 1-player side, you'll be sidestepping into the background. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, so I don't want this to be too confusing. So all right, now a way to cover the other. Let's say I'm on 1-player side. The way to cover that option would be to do this, and it's still a legit frame trap. Oops, I don't like it like that. Let me try again. God dang it. Okay, so that's a legit frame trap. I cannot step out of that. I can't retaliate either. I can't duck. So what I just did right there is considered an option select. So what an option select is one move that covers several bases at one time. So in that situation, when I got hit with the down back 3, it covers 3 options at one time. I cannot retaliate with hitting him unless it's a rage art, because the rage art's active frames, the armor activates and it'll eat the move, and then I get hit. It stops retaliation, it stops sidestepping, and it stops ducking because it's a mid. The only other option I have out of this, I think I can parry it, because the down back 3 is 4 on plus 4 on hit, and on top of that, the back 4 starts off at 14 frames. Therefore, it's like a 10 frame jab, right? So that means I have a window of 0, which is just enough time to implement a parry, because they come out instantly. Let's see how that works. See, I can parry every time. So those are the options that you have to beat the option select, but these are risky, because if you parry at the wrong time, you get hit. Make sense? So I hope you got a lot out of this. If I'm missing anything, please let me know in the comment section below. I love making these videos for you guys. I like explaining the game to you, and especially to the beginner levels and intermediate levels, because a lot of people don't understand this and they wonder why they got hit by certain things and they swear they was blocking. And I will make a part 2 to this, going into more detail about the frame data, movement, and things of that nature. How to lab in general, because the series is called How to Lab. And I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. We're on the road to 1,000. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at The Chill Scrub. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at The Chill Scrub. Make sure you check me out on Discord. My Discord will be in the link below. And I hope you guys have a great day. My social media links are a great way to get in contact with me, especially if you want updates on when I'm making new material, especially on them times when I'm being lazy and I'm very inconsistent. So I'm not going to keep holding you for too much longer. Have a great day. I know I said it for the third time, and peace.